Guys, I got a grocery cart full of groceries here. I'm gonna show you some budget-friendly tips on how to become a bodybuilder, as well as what I'm eating in my diet. And we're not just gonna do those traditional chicken and rice. I'm gonna give you tons of carbs, tons of fats, tons of different options. Got deals over here. They got rice cakes, buy one, get one free. That never happens, and rice cakes are super expensive, so we're definitely gonna take advantage of that. Perfect carb source, both Alexis and I's favorite, especially as my carbs get lower. So stock up on these just to have them at the house, and I'll mix them in throughout with changing rice or cream of rice for them. We could talk about like cucumbers. So that's like the one thing I do. You're gonna snag some veggies, do cucumber every once in a while. That's one of my favorites right now. As my food is starting to come down, these veggies will start to come up a little bit to fill the food volume up. So now starting to add some of these greens in. So cucumber will be one of them. And then also be doing some bell peppers with a few of my meals and some onions as well. So those will be kind of the things that get mixed in. I also might do some mushrooms every once in a while, but right now just sticking with the peppers and the cucumbers. I'm like the old man. I'm swiping through the deals at the grocery stores, checking out to make sure that I can save money any way that I can. Whether you're a pro bodybuilder or whether you're an amateur bodybuilder, this is an expensive sport. So any way that we can save $1, let's try to do it. It's very like exotic. It's sweet. It's good, but there's not really much that there's not much that's comparable to it for sure. It's interesting. It's like dragon fruit, kind of the same thing. It's like there's nothing like it. It's not the same, but it's like there's nothing like it. Next, we have strawberries and some blueberries. So these guys are going in my breakfast. The blueberries are for antioxidants, and the strawberries just because they're amazing and it's one of my favorite fruits. But we keep this in my breakfast almost all the way through prep, and super beneficial and just one of those things that I really look forward to. So we always make sure to look through the strawberries and find the reddest, juiciest, sweetest one. Strawberries aren't necessary. I would honestly say if you're gonna get a berry of some sort, you could probably get your best bang for your buck with blueberries, as well as the extra antioxidants are gonna benefit you a little bit more than the strawberry. And with produce, the next thing we got some pre-workout bananas. So we put this in my pre-workout, get that extra potassium, and make sure we get a crazy good pump. Next is my favorite carb source, potatoes. You can do reds or Idahoan, really whatever you want. They're pretty clean, fat-free carb source. One of my favorites, especially as, like I said, food volume goes down, then we can add these in and increase the food volume back up. So, 100 carbs from potatoes is a lot more volume than 100 carbs from rice, and something that I really enjoy. So I do these up in the air fryer, and I love potatoes. Potatoes are super budget friendly, and again, if you're dieting, it's one of the best carbs to get its most volume. Now we're on to the protein sources. So my main source of protein is mostly chicken. All my protein sources are lean, so I don't do any red meat right now. That's something that I used to do a lot of, and I really like red meat in plans and growing and things like that, just not right now in my diet. As far as chicken goes, you can do the boneless tenderloins here. These are a great option. This is the less budget-friendly one of the two, but a little easier to cook. These are super easy. You could just put some seasoning on them, throw them in the air fryer, and they're ready to go. The one that I usually do is the bigger chicken breast. I'm willing to take the time, trim this up, cut it up, even put it in my food processor and make ground chicken with it. So what we usually do is we actually do a second grocery run and we go to Sam's Club, which we'll probably take you guys along for one of those runs as well. But when we do, we buy chicken in bulk. So we won't be getting this today, but this is a main protein source for us. A little budget-friendly tip for you guys. Almost always at these smaller grocery stores like Safeway, Publix, Winn-Dixie, those type of grocery stores, they usually do great deals on red meat. So if you're a budget-friendly guy, you got what you need to get, and you're just trying to grow up in bodybuilding, or you're in the off season and you can get away with a little bit more fat, this is an awesome opportunity to go check out what deals they have and pick up some extra meat for a good price. Ground turkey is another awesome protein source. It's a little bit more expensive, so if you're on a budget, chicken is the option to go with. But I love doing turkey meatballs, so we're gonna pick up some 99.1 turkey, and we'll be making some meals with that as well. So honestly, my favorite protein source is cod and shrimp. I recently just found out though that I might have a slight allergy to shrimp. Every time I eat it recently, I'm holding a little bit more water and being a little bit more inflamed. And every time I seem to pull it out of my diet, I end up dropping 2 or 3 pounds and looking a lot better. So it's something that I love, but I can't keep in my diet anymore. But we do some cod every once in a while. So I'll be putting some of that in here as well. I like the cod loin, either fresh or some of the frozen ones are even not too bad, but that's an awesome one to do as well as just throwing it in the air fryer with some seasoning, an easy meal to make. As you know, bodybuilders, we're doing crazy things with our health and everything. So vitamins are super important. These are some budget-friendly things that you can be picking up at the grocery stores that'll benefit you. These are 3 of them that I really like. We definitely want to have a multivitamin in, so this is something that you really need to have in. Also, a necessity here is Calm. Magnesium is great. It's an electrolyte. It also helps with sleep as well as recovery. And then last but not least, I have melatonin, and this one's kind of a curveball to throw at you guys. So melatonin, not only does it help you go to sleep and help with your circadian rhythm, but it's also the #1 antioxidant. This is a good way to get those free radicals out of your body and make sure that you're healthy and ready to go. Pump cover's coming off. We're out of the freezer section, so now it's getting warmer. Some carb sources that are great for bodybuilding here. I'm definitely doing the cream of rice. I don't usually do the orange box. I did this for years and years when I was in college. Now I have the money to buy rice and grinds, so I do that. If you want to do that, code Martian. But if not, good old Uncle Ben's is the way to go. Obviously, oatmeal. We just go with the old-fashioned oats if you're gonna do that. Add some Splenda, add some cinnamon, and eat it with your fruit and stuff in the morning. I'm not an oats guy. If you guys have been following for a while, you've seen I eat oats maybe once or twice a year. Back in the day, I used to blend them and do some shakes with them. But now I just don't like the way it makes my stomach feel. It gives me a little bit of a bloat. So we stick to those rice products like cream of rice, or into the junk food, if you will. So there's a lot of bad misconceptions about cereal and that it's super bad for you and you can't do it and all these things. I'm a pro bodybuilder and I eat cereal every day. What I eat, Coach has corn flakes in my plan, but I can also do Rice Krispies as well as Fruity Pebbles. Those are all really clean, low-fat carb sources that I'm gonna do post-workout, get those carbs to absorb very quickly, and then get to eat another meal an hour later. The truth, like, I gotta eat chicken and rice, like this is how it has to be. And then he started seeing the fuck, you gonna eat cereal and shit every day post-workout and all this shit, like Rice Krispies pre-training. So that was how I eased him into it. Was we had these huge boxes of Rice Krispies in the office, and so we'd be sitting in there pre-workout and he'd watch me every day eat 3 Rice Krispies, and finally he was like, Dad, I'm gonna do some fast carbs pre-training too. So he started with that, and then it was slowly worked into cereal post-workout to get more food volume in. And then I used to do this egg white shake, and he kind of did a shake in the morning, but then I started putting chocolate syrup in it and stuff to try to get the calories up because we're in the off season. And he was like, I'm gonna start doing that too. One of my favorite things, as you guys know, if you've been following, is Gatorade. So budget friendly. Obviously, they have these at the grocery store that you can get that have just the Gatorade powder that you can do intra, and it's a lot cheaper than buy them in the bottle. The other thing that we do a lot of is these Gatorade Zero packets of the water flavoring packets, and this is just another way to get those electrolytes in. When you're training as hard as we are, sweating as hard as we are, you need to replace them. Hydration has become the new fad on whether you need to drink the new hydration or get the new hydration powder from so-and-so's company, or whether Gatorade's the best. I can't tell you which one's the best for each thing, but I've been doing Gatorade for years and honestly think it's done just fine for me. I've never had any issues, as well as it's the most budget friendly one. So you can try the other ones out, see the benefits of them. I think they're all great products essentially, and they're all very similar in some way, shape or form. It's just different ratios of electrolytes, but Gatorade's kind of the trusty true one. We know the flavors are good, and like I said, budget friendly. Absolute must. Drink my coffee every morning from my espresso machine, and this is the only espresso worth drinking, unless you're gonna order Dunkin'. Shout out to Dunkin', you should sponsor me. I love Dunkin' Donuts. Cafe Bosteo, this is one of the best. This is what I make coffee with every morning. 4 shots of espresso. This is my favorite. We buy it in bulk from Sam's Club. Jake, didn't we talk about the secret to carbing up in New York? Well, I'll do that. And the secret to carbing up is a little bit of rice smell. You guys will have to wait until the Olympia to see how that trick works. The old trusty faithful condiments. Every bodybuilder's got their favorite ones. I have a few of them. Favorite hot sauce is the jalapeno Tabasco. Really not that hot, just a ton of flavor. This is my favorite with like eggs and those type of things. Really like this one. As you guys have known if you watch the full day of eating or anything like that, Champions barbecue sauce. And like I said, it kind of has the double meaning because of the Champions. And then it's also super good. This isn't one that I recommend for everybody. If you have a crazy fast metabolism, you can get away with adding a little extra calories with your condiments. This is one you can get away with. Otherwise, you should use something like the G Hughes sauce that are sugar-free, a little bit better for you, a little bit cleaner for you, those type of things. But this is what I use and this is what I have in my diet. I do a little bit of it with each meal and we haven't had to see any problem getting shredded, so I guess we're gonna keep doing it. Condiment that every bodybuilder has eaten on eggs, on chicken, on you name it, they've probably put mustard on it. So mustard, in my opinion, the only mustard to buy is French's. Some people like Heinz, some people like whatever else. This is the only one that's worthy of buying. I love mustard. This is my favorite condiment probably of all time. We have a cabinet full of seasonings, but I'm gonna throw like 3 seasonings that I really like to cook with at you guys. So we got Tony's Creole seasoning. I did not mean to do that. Then we got the, where did it go? I just saw it. We got the Everything Bagel seasoning. This is one of my favorites on a lot of my meals. I use this, especially with rice. And then I like a faithful, I know they got this one here. There is a blend. It is salt, pepper, and garlic. I love this one. So this is another great one to do. And these things are just gonna add some, again, flavor to your meals. Make sure you're cooking your stuff good so that you can eat more food. We got the most budget-friendly carb and the traditional carb of bodybuilders, rice. Everybody has their preference. Some people like Cal Rose, which is sushi rice, has a little bit higher glycemic index, a little better for like pre-workout. Some people like jasmine rice, like myself. Some people like basmati, like Alexis. So it just kind of depends on what you like and the texture that you make your rice as well with your water ratio. But I'm a jasmine rice guy. So we end up buying these big 20 or 50 pound bags of jasmine rice and just working my way through them. It doesn't take me too long to kill a whole bag of rice because I'm eating 3-4 meals of 120 to 150 grams a meal of dry rice, which comes out to be like 400 to 500 grams of cooked rice a meal. Definitely eating a lot of rice, eating a lot of meals with it. And this is by far, like I said, the most budget friendly one. And you can get these 50 pound bags for like 20 bucks and really save yourself a lot of cash and have a ton of carbs. One of my favorite meals, one that I don't have right now, but one that helped fix my digestion, was my favorite meal in the off season / early days of my prep, is the Greek yogurt. So I do this 000 one. It's a little bit more expensive, but like I said, you're getting the benefit of also really helping your digestion, getting those prebiotics and probiotics from the yogurt. And the Greek yogurt is an awesome protein source. Throw some berries in there, throw some almond butter in there, and that was my favorite meal for half of prep. But now that we're in a different stage, things are whittling down and we're starting to clean things up and really keeping those protein sources more in those really lean sources like I was talking about, as well as keeping it in those more true protein sources like chicken and turkey. Diet soda is bad for you, so I drink one every day. Here are my top 3. Number 1 is Fresca Peach. Number 2 is probably Diet Squirt. And number 3 is a curveball, and one that you can't find very often is Diet A&W Cream Soda. My favorite energy drinks, on bias, my favorite is this C4 Pineapple. This one is absolutely incredible. Number 2 is a Ghost Cherry Limeade. This is a goated one. And then the old faithful sugar-free Red Bull. This has been my favorite since I was a kid. And just every once in a while, you need a throwback. Onto the fat sources. So like I told you guys before, we don't have any red meat in my diet. We control my fats with added fats, whether it's avocado or my personal favorite, almond butter. We're always getting some kind of almond butter at the grocery store here. The Justin's is really good, as well as I just like the plain one from Sam's Club. It's buy it in bulk, and because I eat so much of it, it's perfect opportunity to save a little cash there. But if you want to treat yourself, Justin's has a few flavors that are really awesome, and this is a great product. If I got to eat a protein bar and I could only pick one, I'd pick a 1 bar. Low carb, good protein, medium fat, and they're the best tasting. Another great protein source, but definitely not a budget-friendly one, is the Fairlife fat-free milk here. This is something I do with that post-workout cereal, just a little splash of milk with it, making that perfect taste of cereal and milk like we grew up as kids, without the fat, without any crap in it, like the lactose and stuff to make my stomach upset. I love Fairlife. I'm willing to spend the extra money to be able to get a little bit of milk in my diet. We'll cut this out around 4 weeks out, make sure we have no dairy products in, because dairy products make you hold a slight bit of water. We just come to this aisle. That's all I need. I fucking love ice cream. This is like my one guilty. I can tell you every one of these that's good. I did do a stint where I ate Ben and Jerry's every night for like 20 some days. My weight barely went up, and I looked very good. I'm not gonna lie.
And then he got with Boss, and
Boss took it away. And then within 4 days, he gave me like 1,500 calories worth of clean food to make up for the calorie of ice cream I was eating. Last tip here is these smaller grocery stores like Publix, Safeway, those places that have the club card. Make sure you sign up for them so you can get the extra deals and save that extra cash. Budget-friendly tips for you guys and what I'm eating in my diet. Appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff, and we'll see you next time for another fun video of us doing something that I have no idea what it is yet.